Hey guys, Chris Amos here. You may remember the 94 Mazda Miata that I bought earlier this spring as a track project car. Well, everything's been dialed in, but as you can see, it needs a little bit of paint correction. So that's exactly what we did this last weekend. A couple issues, the fender and the hood seem to have been repainted, and there was definitely a lot of fading going on. The whole car seems to be single stage, which is good, but there are some definite issues with the front bumper, and the hood's just a little bit rough. First thing we did, we washed the car, got all of the old, or at least what was left of the old wax off, and just wanted to make sure that there weren't any products on the paint before we started to clay it. This has definitely been a 10-footer car. It looks pretty good once you clean it up, but as you'll see in a minute, there's a pretty big room for improvement. I've really enjoyed driving this thing this summer. I've only had it on the track a few times, but as a daily, it's been awesome. We use this Speed Shine as kind of a lubricant under the clay bar. This is actually the first time I've ever clayed a car. Or actually, I guess Jared did most of the work and I filmed, but just claying by itself makes a pretty big difference. The idea is that the clay goes over the paint, picks up all the contaminants and things lodged inside the paint, like rocks or small metal particles, and it gives it just a very, very smooth finish and a smooth feel. You can run your hand over it and the paint is just, it's not gritty anymore. It feels awesome. So just the claying, here's the whole car finished up, done being clayed. Just that makes a huge difference. It's amazing. The car looks a lot better. The front bumper, of course this isn't going to fix any of the major issues, but it does make the car shine much, much better. It just looks awesome. So here's a shot of it outside. We've got the car in the sunlight again. You can see some improvements have been made to that front end. It does look a little bit better. Getting a little bit of shine out of that front bumper, but you can see here the differences between the fender and the hood. And then of course there's a bunch of rock chips and swirl marks and little tiny scratches all over the paintwork. And there's, of course, there's some little parts where birds have pooped on the car and it's got in there and just messed up the paint. So there were some issues, and you can see here in the sunlight there's some scratches. So we got right to work on the front bumper, and Jared started with a harsher compound, went over it a couple times, and then worked down to a finer compound to get that fine, really, really nice shine to it. Worked on small sections of the hood at a time, and went to the other side. Here's the whole, at least the hood and the front bumper polished out. Came out really, really well. You can see a lot of those rock chips kind of went away a little bit, and then all the haze and the swirls are just completely gone. Front bumper turned out really well from what it was. Really happy with how this looks. We spent a lot of time on that front end. Finished up the side. As you can see, we're kind of working from the rock guard up. The rock guard is kind of the lower half of the door where the paint's just a little bit rougher. You're really not going to be able to get anything done with that section because it's so rough. So we just didn't even bother. Finished up the rear bumper and everything else. And the car cleaned up really well. Of course, we had to mask off everything, all the rubber seals and trim pieces and parts like that. You want to mask off while you're polishing so you don't mess them up. Here's a shot of the car all finished up after the polish in the garage. In a minute you'll see a shot of it outdoors, but it really came out well. The car looks awesome. Forgot to do the mirrors here. We did those later, and we also do the hardtop later. We wanted to take the hardtop off so we get that section of the trunk that the hardtop covers. For some reason there are quite a few rock chips from something or other on the back rear quarter panels, and they've been touched up with touch-up paint. That's what all those little dots you're seeing are, but otherwise the car is just super clean. Look at that shine. Talk about a total transformation. Now this is just the polish. No wax on the car just yet. We wanted to get some shots of the work we had done while there was still light. As you can see here, sun's about to set. Look at that front bumper though, what a difference. All right, so everything's polished out. We finished the mirrors, the hardtop, everything. Hardtop was just off, and we used a best of show wax. And you can see on the pads how much black paint is on there from the single stage. A lot came off, but it was worth it. Of course, putting on wax with power tools is a pretty easy endeavor. One nice thing is you can get a really nice, even, thin coat of wax on the car very easily. We let it sit for about 20-30 minutes on the car because it was kind of cold out. One nice thing about the best in show wax is you can just let it sit for as long as you want, and then you can take it off. But here's the car all waxed up, ready to go. Looks awesome, came out really well. Jared did a pretty kick-ass job on the car. So anyway guys, thanks for watching. Miata is finally cleaned up. We'll see you in the next video.